She loves to be in the videos. Hey everyone, welcome back to another one of my Picky Eaters reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of the restaurants that I ate at while I was at Disney World last month. But first, I did not have a Monday must-do this past Monday, which you probably already know if you were looking for it. And I kind of did this on purpose. If you saw my last Monday must-do, I mentioned that we're starting to run low on must-dos. So I think I'm going to go to every other week just to extend that little segment out a little bit longer so that I don't have to start just randomly making everything at Disney World a must-do, which it kind of is. But I know not everyone's going to want to do every single thing. Now that I got that out of the way, let's get back to my Picky Eaters review. So my restaurant that I'm reviewing today is the second restaurant that I went to during my trip last month. And so if you saw my first one, which I will link in the description bar below, you'll know that first on Friday when I arrived, I went to Le Cellier in the Canada Pavilion, had a great meal there. And our second reservation that we had during this trip was on Saturday. And it was the much coveted Cinderella's Royal Table. Okay, now I have never even wanted to eat at this. Wait. Actually, I've wanted to eat at this place, but with having two boys and now they're teenagers, they never wanted to eat at a sit-down restaurant anyway, and they're even pickier than me, so it was kind of really a waste of my time to try to force them to go to a sit-down restaurant, much less Cinderella's Royal Table. They do not care about princesses at all. So I just didn't even really think about it. So going on this trip with one of my best friends, she was like, let's try to get Cinderella's Royal Table. Kind of at the time that we threw this trip together, I was like, there's no way in the world that we're going to get a reservation this close to our vacation. I think I started looking maybe in December, and we were going in February, late December at that. It might have even been January when I was looking. Anyway, all I did was what people have always suggested on like Disboards and Facebook groups and everywhere else. I just started looking every single day at random times. I didn't have any rhyme or reason as long as I checked once a day. And it took me only like a week before I found an opening. And so I booked us for that Saturday at 2:45. Not the ideal time. We would have rather have had a dinner. I might have even gone for breakfast, to be honest. But that's what we found. That's what I was able to book. Wasn't going to argue. I took it. Okay, so when it was time for our reservation, much like with our previous reservation, we showed up about 10 minutes early. Luckily, there's a nice little area by Cinderella's Royal Table where you can look at the murals that are close to the entrance there. There was plenty of places, even though there's only like one or two benches actually in the restaurant waiting area. But there was areas around there where you could sit down and wait. So we went ahead and checked in. At this restaurant, they actually told us when we checked in that, it was going to be pretty close to on time. And since we were 10 minutes early, we needed to come back and check with them again, like 5 minutes till, or I forgot what I think she might have said to check with them right at our reservation time so that they could get us in at that time. So we sat down for a little bit. I went and took a few pictures of the murals, saw all the cute little girls coming in their princess dresses, and just kind of hung out until it was time for a reservation. Then, like right pretty much when it was time for a reservation, I went back to the podium to check in. They took us right back, so that was cool. So once we went inside, there's like a little courtyard area where I was confused for a moment because I thought they made you stand in line to take pictures with Cinderella, which was fine, except I wasn't planning to take pictures with Cinderella. My friend Cynthia wasn't really planning to take pictures with Cinderella, so we'll just wait here till it's our turn and go on around. Well, I think the photographer heard us mentioning that, and he was like, you can go ahead and go through, ladies. You don't have to wait for this. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So we went around, went up the spiral staircase that takes you to the actual dining area. And that was pretty cool. I didn't even pay attention. I don't know if there's an elevator. I didn't really look. We went ahead and just went up the stairs, and I want to say it was like 3 flights of the spiral staircase until we got to the top. Pretty like stained glass all the way up there. gorgeous like red carpet. I think it was red going up the stairs. It was just really nice and pretty cool looking anyway. So we get to the top and right away our host, and I believe her name was Mallory. And she was really awesome. I really liked her. My very first impression of this restaurant was talking to Mallory, who was very energetic. She was very polite. She was perfectly in character. I loved it. Anyway, Mallory takes our ticket and looks to see where we're going to be seated. And she whispers something to the effect of, "You've got the best seat in the place," or something like that, which I was like, they say that to everyone. Well, why is she saying that to us? And I really didn't think anything of it until they took us to our table. Now, since it was just me and my friend Cynthia, obviously a party of two, we get to a little table which just has two chairs, and it literally is what everyone calls the best seat in the place. It's a little table right by the window that overlooks the back of the castle. Like you can see the area there of Magic Kingdom in Fantasyland. Look, there's the carousel right there, and various little shops and rides around there. And I have to admit, I freaked out for a moment, and I got teary-eyed, and I was real excited, and I was gonna freak out. So I'm pretty sure my friend Cynthia was like, "Calm down." But I really was excited, and I was on the verge of crying because I was so excited that we got to sit in this particular spot, and I loved it. I took a little video. The window was pretty dirty. You could tell whoever was there sometime during the day had stuck their face up against the window. I'm sure a little kid. But I didn't care. It was so amazing. So anyway, Mallory ends up telling us, that our waitress was going to be over, and she said, "You know what? Okay, I tried to go find what Mallory gave us so I could show you, but my cat was playing with it, and she probably slid it underneath the stove or the refrigerator, which is where all of her toys end up. I'll deal with her later." Anyway, Mallory ended up giving me and Cynthia a wishing star. She said something like, "You know what? You're never too old to make a wish or have a dream," or I don't really remember what she said, but she gave us each one of these wishing stars, and that kind of made me tear up even more. So at this point, I am in love with the dining room at Cinderella's Royal Table. I'm in love with the table that we've got right with the view of overlooking the back of the castle. Mallory's awesome. I'm fighting back tears because that's the kind of Disney World fan that I am. So I'm feeling really good. Took me momentarily away from the fact that I've got to order something to eat. Okay, so here's where we get back to the review kind of the food of the restaurant. Our waitress did come over and gave us our menus. Now, like in my previous video, like I said, I went ahead of time to DisneyWorld.com and looked at the menu for Cinderella's Royal Table, their lunch menu, to see what I might be able to eat. I gotta tell you, when I looked at this menu online, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna eat here because nothing sounds good to me. Everything came with like some side or vegetable that I'd never heard of or don't like or don't want to even touch. Never mind her. So I was already kind of wondering, what am I going to even eat? I hadn't really figured it out ahead of time, and I decided I was going to wing it when I got there, which is kind of what I had to do. So I went looking at the menu. Nothing looked good. They did have just like a natural chicken breast or something. Let's see what it's called. Hold on. Okay, so I'm looking at the menu at the Disney World website, which is pretty much spot on to what the actual menu was at the restaurant. And what I ended up ordering was what is on this menu. It says pan-seared all-natural chicken. I think it was worded slightly differently in the menu there, but still nonetheless, I got the all-natural chicken. On here it says it's served over creamy goat cheese polenta and baby rainbow carrots with a Madeira mushroom reduction. Don't know if I said all of those things correctly. Again, I don't eat that stuff. So I thought, okay, it's chicken. I like chicken. I'll deal with the chicken because everything else, nothing sounded good. I don't eat salad, so like the grilled beef salad that they had on here. I don't eat fish. The salad, I'm like, there's no point in that. I don't eat shrimp. Ugh, vegetable couscous. No thanks. So I went for the pan-seared all-natural chicken, and I figured if nothing else, I'm just eating the chicken. Now, before they brought our food, they did give us that. They brought out the chef's tasting plate, which apparently just has a like selection of cured meats, cheeses, other specialty selections of the castle for your enjoyment. I kind of tried to taste some of that stuff. I'm not big into. I don't like to eat cheese like with crackers or bread or like I my cheese has got to be like on a pizza or a burger or something like that. So I don't eat like cheese off of the little tasting plates like that. I didn't like I forgot what there was. I think there was some little bitty onions or something. I want to say there was some kind of pickles. I don't even remember. Whatever it was, I tasted a few things and I was like, and I was like, no thanks. I'll just wait for my chicken to get here. So at this point, I'm just kind of looking around, wondering when the princesses are going to come out. I know that I guess not all the same princesses come out each time. I love Snow White, so I was like, please at least let there be Snow White. Because I just love Snow White, and I figured this is going to be the easiest way to get a picture with her, right? So as we wait for our food and everything, I guess it was right about the time, actually, right after they brought us our food, the princesses start coming out. And the first one that comes up, and I'm like staring up at the area where they come out, like in anticipation, and it ended up being Snow White, and I freaked out. I'm like clappy, and I was like, Snow White! Freaking out. My friend Cynthia's looking at me like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. But anyway, I just kind of fangirled for a minute because I love Snow White, and this was what I called a good Snow White. And some of you might be like me. There are some character performers that are better than others, and this Snow White was magnificent. I liked how she looked. She was in character. I mean, she did great. I just loved her. Loved this Snow White. Didn't care about any of the princesses because here was Snow White, and that's all I needed. Kind of eating this chicken. So let me finish with the princesses because I've gotten way off track on this anyway. The other princesses that came out, there was Aurora, Jasmine, and Ariel. They were all fine. Jasmine, actually, I really liked her. I would have to say she is my second favorite as far as interaction. Just because we were adults, she still interacted with us instead of, I felt like the Aurora and the Ariel kind of were like, okay, grown-ups, here's a few choice words, gotta go. I mean, it wasn't bad, I just, whatever. Anyway, so I did have fun interacting with the princesses. I was really geeky and happy about that. It was also fun, though, to see the kids and the parties around us. Seeing the princesses, they really got excited, so that was cute anyway. Okay, so back to the food, because I went way off there. Okay, so I got my pan-seared what is it called? Pan-seared all-natural chicken. Whatever the heck it was on, that goat cheese, blah, 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 whatever, it looked disgusting. I'm all about texture, and it looked like a gross texture, and I would not like it. Didn't want to taste it anyway. But the chicken was okay. It was cooked fine. It was real juicy. I can say that. For me, it didn't have very much flavor. I felt like there was like no seasoning on it. Maybe that's just me, but I did eat it because A, it was going to be our lunch and I was hungry, and B, I didn't know we were going to eat again. Well, I did, but it was going to be later that night before we ate again, and I'm like not going to come to this restaurant and not eat anything at all. So I ate as much of my chicken as I could. But I have to say, this is one of those restaurants where a picky eater like me, it was not that great for me because I just did not find something that I really enjoyed eating. The sad thing is I'm looking at like the little princesses and little princes that are eating, and the kids were all getting the kids' meal, which was chicken nuggets and mashed potatoes. And like the whole time when they first brought me my food, I keep looking at the kids in the table next to me, and I'm like, I want chicken nuggets and mashed potatoes. And I seriously would have been like, please bring me chicken nuggets and mashed potatoes. We are on the dining plan. Cinderella's royal table is 2 dining credits on the dining plan, and they do not allow you to get the kids' meal as an adult. And I don't remember if it was at this place or another restaurant. Cynthia actually asked someone, the waitress at one of the places, if we could get the kids' meal instead, and they were like, nope. So not a big deal. I kind of already knew that, but she was like, let's just ask and see. Anyway, I ate my chicken. It was okay. I would have loved to be able to get that kids meal because I like me some Disney World chicken nuggets, and mashed potatoes are almost my favorite side, next to like french fries and a baked potato. You might see there's a potato theme here. Anyway, so near the end of our meal, our waitress came and brought us this. I did find because I hid it from the cat after she chewed on my wishing star. She came and brought us, like they give all the little princesses, this Cinderella's Royal Table magic wand thing. And of course I kept it because I'm a nerd and a Disney World hoarder. So I had to have that. So I got that in the wishing star, which is probably under my refrigerator right now. But I was really excited to get those. I did notice the little boys got to get a like little sword, like a prince sword. A little sword to fight dragons. Anyway, that was cute. So I thought that was fun that they have something for boys and something for girls. And if you're a grown up and want to have the wishing star and the little wand, you get that too. So when they brought us our ticket, of course we were on the dining plan. We didn't get anything extra that we had to pay for extra, but I did look at that receipt. If I remember correctly, now I do know when I made the reservation, it did give me like a little, it gives you the little spiel about, even though we're using the dining plan credits, we had to do a credit card to hold the reservation, which is fine. Of course, it just reminds me if we're using the dining plan to let them know, otherwise your card is charged. It was like $158, which was for 2 people. If you didn't show up for the reservation, I think it said they charged you your card. I don't remember all of that part, but I do know it said that if you don't use dining plan credits, it was going to be like $158 and change for the lunch. And I was like, phew. So of course we did use dining plan for this. And when they actually brought the ticket, I did notice, I think it came out to like $146 and change for our meal for 2 people. So, I mean, would I have done that out of pocket? No. I probably won't eat here again unless I were to do like a breakfast, because the breakfast menu is pretty basic breakfast foods, and I can find something that I will eat at breakfast here, but I just don't see me eating here anytime soon. So, loved the atmosphere, didn't like the food, loved the interaction for the most part with the princesses. Do I recommend this? Of course. It's like an experience that you got to do at least once. Is it expensive? It is. If you have the dining plan, I would do it on the dining plan and use the 2 credits. Just because for me anyway, I'm probably not going to do it any other way. I'm not spending that kind of money when I know I'm not going to really like the food. Okay, so what about you guys? How many of you have eaten at Cinderella's Royal Table, or do you want to eat there? Is something like this worth it to you to take your kids, or just like me as an adult to go and try it out? Let me know in the comment sections below. Sections? There's only one. Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, you guys, I've still got a few more restaurants that I ate at on this trip that I'm going to review, and I will be making another Monday Must Do for next week and doing some other little videos in between. I don't have anything else to say. That's it for now, you guys. Thanks for watching. See you real soon. Whoa, what was that? Out of must do things. Anyway, at the